My name is Ryan Henry. Today is May 8th, 2026, and this is my Aging and Disease or Skin Cancer Lab videotape assignment. So skin cancer is cancer that starts when cells grow out of control. It often develops after skin cell DNA is damaged, especially by UV light or the sun or tanning beds. So symptoms can include new or changing mole, sore that doesn't heal, strange patch bump or spot on your skin, and some causes and risk factors include UV exposure, tanning beds, fair skin, many moles, family history, older age, and a weakened immune system. So a good way to avoid skin cancer is by limiting UV exposure when you can, using sunscreen when you are in the sun, wearing protective clothing, seeking shade, and avoiding tanning beds, obviously. Skin checks are important, so you can sometimes you can see it. So skin checks are important and they help because early detection makes treatment easier. Ultraviolet light increases skin cancer risk because it damages the DNA inside the skin cells. If that damage affects genes that control cell growth, then cancer can begin. So UV effects can be avoided by staying out of direct sun during peak hours, especially like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then you can also wear sunscreen, sunglasses, hat, long pants, long sleeves, and avoid tanning beds. So I know that was kind of repetitive, but I wanted to get through the questions there, and then I will be back with my experiment. Okay, so I started off using my ruler and my sun paper, and I cut out 3 equal-sized 5 centimeter by 5 centimeter squares. Next, I'm going to label these bags off camera just because that takes a good amount of time. I'm going to label the bags. One of them is going to say control, the other is going to say SPF 30, and the other is going to say SPF 50. So on the control, I'm gonna leave nothing on it, and I'm just gonna put the little square of sun paper inside, or the sun print paper. And then one is gonna be the SPF 30, and the other is gonna be the SPF 50. So I have my sunscreen here that I'm gonna put on the outside of the bag once I get everything labeled and get the sun print paper put inside, and I'll be back for that. I have my 3 bags here. So here's my control with my square in it. Here's my SPF 30 and my SPF 50. I'll be back putting this on. So I now have my SPF 30. It doesn't look like it's covering it on this, but I swear it's a pretty solid layer covering the paper. Same with the SPF 50 here. And then our control has nothing. So I'm gonna go take these outside. I think I'm gonna insert a picture into this video of them set out there. I'm gonna wait 5 minutes and then I'm gonna bring them back in. Before I do that, I also wanna note that I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. The UV is 6, it's 1:30 p.m., and it's partly cloudy outside. Here I have my samples laid out, and I'm gonna leave them for 5 minutes. I forgot to record it, but I brought them back in, and I washed them off to stop the chemical reaction with water. And I took them out of the bag so that they could dry. So on the left here, we have the SPF 50, the middle is the SPF 30, and then on the right is the control. You can already see clear differences, so I'm excited to let them dry and then further investigate here. So my SPF 50 paper is basically completely white. There's a few spots around the corners, but that's probably from me not fully covering it or from the bag shifting around. SPF 30 has a little bit more blue. It's kind of more consistent. Like, it's lighter than this blue is, yes, but it's, I don't know, this seems more like the whole paper as a whole is a little bit lighter blue, and then there's consistent outlines that are all connected up here. And then the control is the dark blue. So the more blue that there is the more UV that hit the paper. So it's pretty clear that the sunscreen works. The SPF 50 is the strongest, SPF 30 is the next, and then control, all the UV light got through. So I would say there's not that big of a difference between the SPF 50 and 30, but there's definitely a huge difference between no sunscreen and sunscreen. So thank you so much. I think this is the end of my video. I just now saw the question 6 of designing our own experiment. I don't see anywhere to add like all our information for our experiment on there, so I'm just gonna talk about it on here. I did olive oil, and like I sprayed a bunch of olive oil on it with spray, and then I rubbed it and kind of had a thick layer covering it. I expected nothing to get through because it was like a very thick liquid layer of oil covering it, but pretty good exposure. In the bottom here, there's none. I'm not sure why. I don't know why it would be inconsistent, but that's with olive oil. And then I used an SPF 60 that I had here at home, and it didn't do as well as the SPF 50 provided in our lab kit, even though like I very much covered the square all the way. So I'm thinking maybe I have old sunscreen, or it's expired, or it's a worse brand or something. But that's the two I did for my own experiment. Yeah, thank you.